Hello and welcome back. This is the Queery Helpline with Patrick Hopkins, hosted by yours truly, Morgan Hazelwood. As always, Patrick and I have edited hundreds of submission packages, helped more than 50 writers get pages requested, and almost 20 of them get agents or a publisher. So Patrick is obsessed with verbs and query statistics, while I've poured over the querying process and basically read every genre possible. So between the two of us, I think we've got we can dial most submission packages into submission.
That was good wording there, Morgan.
Oh, yeah, I'm going with it.
That was really, See, the problem there is you use nouns consecutively.
I mean...
But that's your thing.
Verbs don't do anything without a subject, even if it's implied.
You and your face and your nouns. Speaking of, I found a headline, and I did not read the story because...
Face is a noun.
Face can be a verb too. I have this headline because tonight is not just about queries; it's also about abortions, which I'm not getting currently, which is probably good because our status is terrible. But Florida couple, and already this is going to be terrible. I did not read the article because it would just been reading stuff that gets worse and worse and worse, and I don't need that in my life so much. Florida couple unable to get abortion will see baby die after delivery. And no, that's like no.
Yeah.
It was they were past the deadline to get it, I think, to get the abortion, which again is a good reason again to not have those limits because doctors should be making the decisions, not politicians.
The decision should be between the person carrying the child, the embryo, the mass of cells, and
parasite.
Their doctor. I had a dear friend, unfortunately, have no heartbeat 2 weeks before delivery, and that's a late-term abortion. And no, it's a tragedy, and letting it go septic in her is much worse.
Oh yeah. I have my great-grandmother got pregnant 7 times.
Oof.
3 stillbirths. I suspect that today she would have just done something so she wouldn't have to deal with it anymore. There were other issues at play here that we don't want to get into.
Yeah.
But like, if you're carrying something dead, that's necrotic. Like that science. Mary Shelley's mother died of that actually. You know that, right?
A lot of women died of it.
Oh yeah. Back then, first of all, back then being middle class and a woman was terrifying because doctors didn't wash their hands. So you're better off being a sex worker. A doctor is a gentleman, and a gentleman doesn't need to wash his hands was the rhetoric back then. But what happens when, as you may know, is when you have a baby, you pass not just the actual body thing, lots of stuff after birth. It's not pretty, okay? It's not in television shows unless there's a complication, but there's lots of stuff going on in there. It all needs to come out, and if it doesn't, what you get is lots of bad science. You get your body treats it essentially as an invader and starts boiling you alive to kill it. I believe the term for what Mary Shelley's mother had was purpurea, but she ran up a fever that was really, really, really high. I want to say she died 11 days later after the birth because she had part of the placenta or whatever it was still in her. And I went, we have to kill this thing. And she died. And that's the science of things being in your body that shouldn't be there. And in the case of a baby that dies, if there's nothing to keep it alive, then that's the game. So to have it decaying in you, or even if it's not, you have this thing that you know is going to die. And every day is one day closer to death. And the notion that anybody should want that to happen, I'm never going to understand that. The level of apathy there is
horrific.
Yeah,
And
that's a good word for it.
willfully ignorant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's a reason childbirth was the leading cause of death
still
in
is.
women. And yeah.
It's if you look at the
At that age range or for all women? I think it's just that age range.
15 and 44, I think it is the
Yeah.
bracket that's used internationally. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's if you look at countries where you wouldn't expect to find clean water easily, that's where you find the rate being what it was in America in the 18th century.
Yeah. But I have a friend from college who lost a good friend last year because things just went wrong.
Mm-hmm. It happens. You can have every
low risk. It was a low risk pregnancy.
It doesn't honestly. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Nope.
You can have every single there is no medical thing you can buy to have a safe delivery. It happens or it doesn't.
Yeah.
Birth plans are great ideas, but science just does what it wants to do.
If you are pregnant, I would like to say that my sister had a home water birth with a midwife present and a birthing center labor experience at age 39, and the kid was out in and she just needed 2 stitches. So we're not saying you're taking your life into your hands. We're saying it is a crapshoot, but
planning
you're not
is great.
doomed just because you're
looking
pregnant.
Stuff up is great. Having all that information is great.
Yeah.
But there's stuff you don't know is going on in your body because it just, first of all, pregnancy
itself. They don't
itself,
give you a status report every day of all the components.
No. And the list would be a mile long.
Well, yes.
Because to the point, my mother said a number of years ago that if she had tried to put on her wedding dress again, she wouldn't have been able to because her ribcage grew.
Yeah.
And her dress was not tight. She cut it out herself in a room in her college library. She reserved the thing. She put out the fabric on the floor and she cut it.
Yeah.
Because that's what she wanted to do. I don't care. I wasn't marrying her. But she had 4 kids, and your rib cage grows. Yeah. Because that's what a parasite does to you.
It pushes things out of the way. You have hormones telling your ligaments to loosen so that it can stretch.
And stretch, absolutely, yeah. In fact, I saw there was a picture I saw of a corset. Did we talk about this last time? The pregnancy corset?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, that's fine then. I couldn't remember if it was that or another stream, because that's not just you. Anyway, so yeah, it's being forced to be pregnant is kind of disgusting.
I believe that every child should be wanted, actively wanted, not, we got married, so we're supposed to have kids now.
That's not a reason to have kids. It used to be. The purpose of marriage used to be purely about finances and breeding. And that was about 120 years ago, something like that. And then around the beginning of the 1900s, the movement toward, no, let's actually want to be together started getting stronger. But the origin of marriage was, number one, not religious. And number two, it was primarily about offspring lineage.
Yeah.
But this is not Sumer, and we are not playing with cuneiform. This is much farther into things, and we can allow people to make non-toxic decisions that, don't leave them with ticking time bombs in their bodies. He said politely.
Anyway, we are also here to revise and rewrite queries and synopsis.
Was she here? Is Trudy here? Oh, wow.
Would you like to come and join us? Okay, we're bringing you in.
All right, goody.
Thank you for listening to us and being patient.
Okay. I thought that she was not here. Yes. We were stalling.
I'm sorry.
No,
I had a delay there for a minute. Sorry.
I'm familiar. I take mine down, Beth. If you think I'm bad, talk to Shannon. Holy.
Oh yeah, no. Clearly.
She could talk the ear off a cornfield. Wow.
That is a beautiful expression that I do not hear enough.
I made it up, and it's terrible because it's like, wow, how rude can you be? But she likes bluntness, because she needs it. Some people do. Well, anyway, okay.
No.
Okay, I put everything in the query document so that I can refer to it. Stuff within your stuff. I love nouns. Without getting confused or mistabbing. So if you have that open, the
Excellent.
query itself, yes. So the synopsis is in there as well now.
Excellent.
Because sometimes what happens is that someone doesn't include all the information I need. And so I go, hey, what's this thing? And I can either listen to you talk about something or I can scan.
Patrick
Perfect.
does not absorb
Yes,
information verbally very well.
No, I just don't like you.
Oh, well, there's that.
No, see, here's the thing. Morgan is a professional speaker of things, which means that she
Nice.
talks at a certain cadence, and I am mocking it right now. And I completely understand the value of that cadence. However, when I'm trying to scan to find out if this query covers the first third of the book, what I don't need is someone doing this. 13-year-old Benjamin, a bookworm with a sweet tooth and a talent for worrying, wants nothing the more than to make it into the dear God stop the pain immediately. So, and again, I understand why you do it, Morgan, but you understand why I want to kill things with fire.
No.
Okay,
I
so
totally understand.
Trudy, does this cover the first third of the book, up to the first half?
Yes. Yeah.
Hooray!
A little bit of the first half, but yes.
That's fine. That's fine. We want to avoid when people have long queries, which this is what 180s, I want to say, maybe 210s, 180s, 208. Wow, that was pretty good.
Nice. Oh, wow.
When it's longer, or when we get vague sections, they're like he tries to do stuff, but then things happen. What usually ends up happening is we find out, oh, I had to condense 19 chapters into 2 sentences because I had to get to the end of the book. And, nope. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So I'm happy about that. Okay.
Good. Yay.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to ask. This is the first time I've asked this question. How many of these details are you in the good? You are. Okay. So this first sentence is incredibly long. Of these details, which of them are in this? Yes, what?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
obviously my mistake, I guess. But you know what? That is my synopsis. What I'm seeing.
We put them together.
I put them together.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
Never mind. Not your mistake. No,
you're good.
Do you have anxiety concerns?
Anxiety concerns?
Yes.
Oh, as far as being on the live stream?
No, as in terms of like talking ever at all as a human. Because what you just did is typical of anxiety people. Something broke. It must have been my fault.
No. I think it's just human behavior.
I just saw Sparks in the Dark Query at the file as the file name at the top, and saw my synopsis on the screen. And I was like,
because I put it in there.
Named it wrong, but okay, now I got it.
You're fine. Okay. The reason I ask is sometimes anxiety causes what you just did, but that's fine. All right. Anyway.
Okay. So it's time for me to read it aloud for those listening from home, and for Patrick to fling his headphones across the room so he won't hear it. So, dear agent, 13-year-old Benjamin, a bookworm with a sweet tooth and a talent for worrying, wants nothing more than to make it into the top school in the spirit realm and ace his first life on Earth. Okay, maybe he also has a secret burning desire to study creation and design his own new planet one day. But there's a problem. Using his creation abilities could put him and his 3 soul companions in grave danger. Benjamin and his soul companions have grown up hidden away from the rest of the spirit realm at their guardian Octavia's house to avoid a danger she refuses to talk about. Now they're finally old enough to leave and attend school, and Benjamin couldn't be more ready. When the school year begins, things get complicated fast. It's hard enough dealing with his first bully almost being eaten by a massive flying lion and having to pick a soulmate for his first life study. To top it all off, Octavia bars him from participating in his creation classes. But when the headlines talk of an unknown entity breaching the boundaries between realms, and Benjamin begins to feel stalked in his room at night, he fears the danger they've been protected from is finally coming to call. The magic schools and whimsy of Nevermore meets the friendships and things that creep in the dark of Stranger Things in Spark in the Dark. a middle grade fantasy standalone with series potential, completed 89,000 words. I am a voice and piano teacher, accompanist and singer/songwriter with a bachelor's in music education from the University of Illinois. I majored in musical theater for 2 years at the Hart School, and I am also a published knitwear designer. An earlier draft of this manuscript's beginning made the judges' favorites list in Ink and Insights, and a short story of mine was also a finalist in a Writer's Digest competition. Nice! I live with my husband, our 3 young kids, and a ridiculous Bernedoodle in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Nice. Yay, good job.
And I waved at Patrick, and he'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
I like it, but it starts off being a little synopsis-y.
Okay. Yeah, how politely do I say this? This is
you don't have to be polite as well.
good. Okay, yeah, this is gonna get changed. He said politely, because the first. Okay, nothing actually happens in the first paragraph, right? It's all backstory.
Right. True.
Right. Yeah. No. And then nothing happens in the first sentence of the second paragraph, right? It's things having happened. And then in the second sentence there, they age, right? That's not an active thing, is it?
No,
and then
it's not.
We have this has no agency whatsoever. Nothing. Things get complicated is VHS back cover copy.
Yeah.
Or actually front cover copy, because
blurb is great, but that's not what agents need. They need specificity.
What makes this book interesting?
We need stakes. So when he deals with his bully, does he do it on his own? Does he take it and suffer? Do his soul companions help out? How does he?
This is like Morgan, why do I highlight this? Morgan, why do I highlight this?
Because it's a glorious list of 3 items.
It's a plot elements list, Morgan. What do we do to those?
We celebrate.
That's
we butcher them.
So what you're doing when you say this is say, here are things that happen in my book.
Training
now,
montage.
For a Twitter pitch, that could be great because it says these are the plot elements I have.
Yeah.
But you need to, how does he feel about any of this stuff, right? Is being eaten by a lion thrilling? Is it terrifying? We don't know.
He got to see a massive lion. I mean, it almost ate him, but Yeah. Or,
that
oh my God, there was a massive
experience, man. Okay.
And ew, so
and then
we
have the good thing is we have lots of world building here. The bad thing is it's sort of a thing that exists. So how to fix it? Okay. This is yeah. Okay. This is Netflix. Yeah. Talk amongst ourselves. Sugar, what's the topic? Queries. Have you seen Coffee Talk by Linda Ronstadt? Or are you not 80 years old? It was a Saturday Night Live bit by Mike Myers.
Oh, okay, that's the one. Yes, a little bit.
I'm getting a little clip. I'll give you all the topic. Anyway, okay, so we need to have this identifier. That's a long bio. It's fine. It'll be fine. The bio is never a problem because if the bio in a fiction query really doesn't matter, you're not going to get rejected off a bio unless you write, I like to torture animals in my spare time. And my name is Kevin McCarthy.
If you're writing about something that you do have personal experience in, like if they were doing a class in which they learned to sing or play piano.
God. Oh, Trudy. No. Okay. Stop. Okay. This is terrible. Okay. Don't lead with this. This can go after. Okay. This can go.
Okay.
Let me turn on editing mode because this is such a thing. Okay.
We're going for the part where I was like, ooh, that's awesome.
How many voice and piano teachers are there in America, Trudy?
Okay, that makes sense. A lot.
Yes. How many
More
people
than 6?
made the judge's favorite list for Ink and Insights? Not that many, right?
Fewer, I guess.
So is it more now? Showing that you can work hard is absolutely good. Okay. However, finalists in a competition. judge's favorite list for whatever. I don't know what it is. I don't need to. They will. That's their job. Okay, but it's an easy and the reason you have this there is you don't see it because you've written it, and so it's hard for you to understand that the University of Illinois is not the thing.
Right.
If being a finalist is the thing. So that's that. Okay. Oh, and this is. Oh, actually, did that change? I thought it was okay. No, it is. Okay. Okay. So we have some sharing of concept. Yes, honey. You want me to be more quiet, or do you want me to show me a funny thing?
Hold on. Look.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I see. Oh boy, good job, honey. Again, the point of this stream is the autonomy of choosing to have kids or not. Brought to you by, did you see that or hear that?
Brought to you by a school holiday and 3 kids.
Did you want to say hi? And no, she did not.
Right.
Okay, so how to fix this? Because anyone can say, the thing is about this stuff. Anyone can say, there's a problem. We fix it. So, hi.
Oh, hello.
Bodily autonomy and you. Hi, Catherine. We don't need you back.
Right
yes. Okay, so we have 13-year-old Benjamin, book one of with blah, blah, blah wording. Okay, now, what do we have here? Scroll down to the synopsis, please, Morgan.
I've totally used this technique before, and Patrick has yelled at me. Multiple times.
In writer's defense, 2 things. Number 1, I have not seen a combination. I have done some. I haven't seen one that I did a combination query synopsis that I didn't touch, where the first sentences were not identical. However, a query is like a prom dress. You sort through many drafts. You spend hours and hours and hours. The synopsis is the tuxedo. It has to fit. It has to not look, stained. They are unrelated documents. So if you have them beginning in the same way, one of them is wrong. He said lovingly, but that's okay. We can fix it. So
awesome. Yeah.
What we need to, yes, that's the whole thing. Hi, children, banes of my existence. This is so much the reason I do this, because I don't want anyone else to have to choose this, to have to suffer with this. If you want kids, great. If you don't, I wish you every possible barrier method. Every single one. The Romans farmed one to extinction. It's called Silphium. It has heart-shaped pills. I am not making any of that up.
And it was so heavily used that it is now extinct.
It is not extinct.
Oh, good.
It was. There was a guy who found it.
Is it as effective as they made it sound like?
Okay. No. But you know what? The Romans also had strong infanticide. They also had a method that had used like elephant dung, I think. And to me, if you're sticking elephant dung in there, you really don't want to have kids. Hi, honey.
Oh my God.
Okay, so my child is doing this, and okay, so let's focus on fixing this. All right, so Trudy, if you would be so kind, what happens in the first chapter that Benjamin controls?
Okay, so the first chapter that Benjamin controls. Okay, oh gosh.
Yeah,
so
do you feel very attacked?
I do. How dare you?
Yes, exactly. Trudy, tell me what your book is about. You think facts in logical order.
Oh my gosh. I'm about to send my first chapter into someone else to look at too, just to be like, is this okay? But anyway, at the moment, right now, he is, oh gosh, there's a lot of setup. Well, okay, when the story begins, I mean, not like info dumping setup, but when the story begins, he's in a closet. He's in a closet studying something he's not allowed to study. And he is.
Is it creation?
It is, yeah.
Oh.
Go figure. He's in a closet hiding from his family, so to speak, studying creation, trying to get his mind off the fact that the next day is his placement test for school that he's incredibly nervous about. And then his family finds him in the closet studying creation, and they kind of bribe him into like sneakily. Their guardian isn't home, so short version, they bribe him to use just a tiny bit of his creation ability to make a without explaining too much, a Nova ball that they like to play this sport with. And they're like, nothing will happen, just come on, so I guess that's something he kind of sort of controls.
It is definitely okay. Good. Now places within the world. Okay, so we don't need secretly, Morgan. We don't need a modifier. Morgan. Okay, good. That's much better. Okay. Are we doing synopsis first or query first? I don't care. I just need to know. Okay. So in the stake sentence, which might live, I don't know. The first paragraph is dying in a fire. I'm sorry. It's you can do a first paragraph of all backstory. It's more common in romance because we have to know the circumstances behind people getting together.
Yeah.
But in a fantasy, no.
And it's totally, it can work in a blurb, especially I think maybe middle grade.
As set up, yeah.
Yeah.
You tell people what kind of word you have, but in a query, no. In epic fantasies, you can have, I've seen a sentence or two to set it up, an entire paragraph with the character. But again, we can fix this. Honey, why are you here? Oh, I see. Because. Okay.
We call the closet dark because it's the darkness and the studying that's been forbidden. I don't know. I'm waiting for Patrick.
I don't think we need dark, but that's a whatever.
I mean,
okay.
It's the darkness, not the closet, that's been forbidden, though. So that's why
it's too much to put it. It's too much to put in there, probably. But I mean, it is dark in the closet. But he's got his little firefly sort of like familiars with him that he's required to have whenever he's in the dark. But,
so, hooray! I finally came out. No, you're not going to do that. You're going to thank you. Okay, thank you. All right. So what I was trying to say before, literally, I was really interrupted. Don't do, child. Go to your place.
Sounds like any phone call I try to have.
The reason we don't do this before 9:30 is that they're even worse. If we did this at 2 a.m, I'd be great. I'd be on the ball. But if not, no. At 7, no, we'd be playing catch with a stuffed animal. Anyway, okay. So worrying is, I think. Is that a central thing for Benjamin? Does it guide a lot of his stuff?
It kind of does. It's one of the things he has to overcome. But a lot of worrying, a lot of fear.
Okay. This is not all gonna live. My guess is it's going to take another session, which I can do with you free to get this done, because we have to rebuild this entire thing. Because the paragraph, the first paragraph entirely is not.
Okay.
That was 10 o'clock. Okay, that's what that is. All right. So
sorry, I meant to
unchime yourself. Okay, so he hides, because what I've got to figure out is what he's doing, and some of the stuff he's doing isn't going to make it in the file because we need it. But I don't know that until I get a sense of the whole, active him doing stuff plot.
Right.
Right.
So this is sort of a wants to go to up. Okay. Is he studying in the closet so that he can ace that life and get into that school?
Well, it's he's
Uh-oh.
so studying studying creation is something he wants to do when he gets to the school. But he
I
like
see.
the test tests their potential. They don't have to like
So he can't
they
study
don't have
for
to
that.
show
Okay,
he
so
can't
he's
study
not.
for it.
So
He'd
he's not.
He's
like
trying to
to-
distract himself because he's terrified about how the test is going to go, so he's trying to distract himself from the beginning.
Okay. All right. So the first chapter is studying the closet equals hide from. Okay. Hides. As
Let me know if you need any more input from me too.
oh, I will. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And when you see me
not
doing
getting off
this
that
thing,
easy.
no, you're Trudy. You're not, yeah. The reason we have the person here every time is because after about 2 consecutive bracketed comments, the number of possibilities for how that can go is all of them, and because I get
Yes.
vaguer and vaguer and vaguer until I get to the stake list. I'm like, please rescue me from this disaster, because it's a 16-lane highway, and shifting an inch takes you from going to Jacksonville to going to Augusta. And
Well, I don't even know how I would help someone with a synopsis when I haven't read their book. So
that's exactly
that's pretty amazing.
Okay, so what happens? Then he gets into this. He's admitted.
Oh, I'm on the wrong page. There we go.
Is the worry the only big plot element throughout this, or is there something else?
Big plot element. Well, do you mean like in terms of
His arc.
his wants and goals?
Mhm.
Well, let me think. It's the biggest one. It's the
Okay.
biggest one. I mean, the creation thing is there too, but it's not like.
Is it a stakes level thing or not?
I would say.
Does it lead us toward the climax? His
The
creation.
climax doesn't exist.
Well, yes, kind of, because no, you're talking about the query or the synopsis? Well, no, you're just talking about the book.
Yeah.
So
I want to know if it's that big of an element, like that is, in the end, he has to give up his creation or he'll ruin everything or whatever. I don't know. I haven't read that far.
Kinda. Like, so his guardian Octavia tells them, though, there's this special danger out there for you guys, so you have to do things a little differently than other people. And then for Benjamin in particular, she's like, you cannot study creation or be alone in the dark. And but that's desperately what he wants to do, but he's kind of in denial about it at the beginning of the book, because he also kind of, because of how she's raised them, he kind of fears the dark and fears using his creation abilities, but he is obsessed with creation. He loves it and he wants to do it, but he knows he can't get away with studying that really, or focusing on his studies on that. But anyway, by the end, he winds up having to use his creation abilities to rescue somebody that's close to him, and go into the dark. So it's important for him to like overcome his fears. His fears come up again and again in the book.
That's good. That's why I have it. It's still in the first sentence. Yes, honey. What?
Charlotte said the F word.
Honey, Madeline said it when she was 3. I'm not worried about it. There's a certain I'm in journalism and the wife is in journalism.
How come when I said a bad word, you were like,
I didn't. Good night. Good night.
Good night.
The go to bed part of go to bed.
The go to bed part of poopy.
You're This
Sounds like my
interlude
house.
has been brought to you by Trojan and Bayer, which are their first two sponsors if I went professional as a live streamer. My wife is in journalism, I am in journalism. We swear a lot. My 5-year-old, when she was 3, said, "Fucking hell." And it's just the most darling thing because she has no idea how people are going to be like, "Child, such language to her is the thing." I mean,
Oh my gosh, that's too funny.
the number of times I hear what the actual fuck we're pubescent trout every day is many. But
When my oldest. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say my first word was "damn it," which is part of why my mom thought I was the reincarnation of her father.
Oh my gosh.
Was he also a modifier?
What are you talking about?
The joke is that Morgan is a modifier because her name is not Gen, it's Morgan.
Oh.
Yes, this was several streams ago. Remember when I told you that one, Morgan?
It's still funny.
Yes, I know. Because I don't tell it that often. See, if I use it every time, it'd be either our running thing or just boring.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
back to the query because we've gone. Yes, Morgan, what?
I was just going to tell Trudy
hello,
that
Jessica.
Jessica is loving your character names.
Oh, awesome.
All these people. Wow, we have humans here.
Yeah.
How in the... Okay.
Jacob is hanging out and Sarah's here.
Okay, then. Well, yeah, but how did Jess know? She's not in the group. Whatever. Anyway.
I read it on the screen. My friends. Okay.
Jessica is your friend? Okay, that's good to know. Okay, and okay, so here we get. All right, so I think Trudy,
yes,
we need to work in. Idea. Okay. Does he fear the dark, or does he fear?
He fears them both, dark and well. He fears the dark. He's very scared of the dark at first, and even though he kind of wants to toe the line and go in it just to stick it to Octavia, yeah. And eventually that feeling wins out at one point in the novel, and that is not a very good thing. But anyway,
is there a place? Okay. Is there a place in the first sentence to put the creation thing he wants? Because owing to various distractions that no one could have predicted, aside from everyone who has a kid who can move around, I missed some of the explanation of creation in this thing. So if you can stick that in, that would be useful. And then we can get to the second sentence where we build on elements we introduced in the first.
You're talking about
the creation thing? Put that word belongs in the first sentence.
Oh.
So we're trying to introduce the fear, which we have with the dark, and the spirit school and the creation thing he wants is the creation thing. So we need to introduce that in the first sentence.
Right.
And that will probably be most of our plot elements to weave throughout the rest of the thing.
Right. Oh my goodness, I don't know where to put it in.
The soul companion might go away, by the way, because I don't know that they do anything.
I wasn't sure. They're constantly in the book, like constantly. They're kind of like a big friend group, sort of. But
do they do anything?
They're not, as far as like the main plot line.
Mm-hmm.
They're not that important for the main plot line, even though they're always there. So
that's you have to sort of zoom out until you can't see things that aren't that straight line from.
Right.
All right. So creation, if you can, and if you can't, that's fine. We can move on to the second sentence because I think I know what that needs to be.
Okay, and I'm sorry, you want me to explain what that is, or you want me to put it in the sentence somehow?
In the context of the first sentence.
Okay.
If you need to write lots and lots of words, that's fine. We have 2 hours left. We have time for this. And again, this is going to take, and that's fine.
A while.
And And I totally didn't realize, I'm sorry, I'll fix this in a second here, but I didn't
No worries.
realize you wanted me to be in the document with you. I have it pulled up in Word, but I just,
Yes,
okay.
yes. We
I'll
do
get-
this live. Yes, this
I'll
is
get
the live,
into it.
the live part of live stream.
So
Yep.
we can collaborate.
So that
So we can
because we
all work on
actually
it.
have
Okay.
many times produced actual queries that people have used from things they give us
Awesome.
that they mean well, and there are good parts to them, and we fix them. He said,
It's
lovely.
okay. Patrick says the exact same stuff, only sometimes meaner about his own queries.
I am writing one for Brianna right now for that contest, and writing UK query is something. That's easier because there's less you can do.
It's a cover letter. Luckily, we did those last time.
I don't like UK queries. Well,
I
I like
know.
they're easier, but I don't do them ever, so it's a little harder.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Trudy is doing the creation thing. I'm so glad there isn't there because I have words.
Oh my gosh, this is hard to do live.
Yeah, isn't it? Right
Like,
now,
what?
explain this thing that is a core element of your book.
Fix it.
Do you feel very attacked? Bingo. It's all free squares. And it's just various
Oh my
sobbing
God.
emojis and wine and hiding and do I have to wear pants? And
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Let's
I mean,
see.
if I ever had to talk about my book live, there's a reason I don't do this for my own stuff. There's a reason that when Morgan did hers, oh Lord, that was an experience. I don't miss that, Morgan. Do you miss that, Morgan?
I mean, it's not like I've stopped writing. I'm gonna have another one.
Thanks for the warning. He said lovingly.
Hey, it's for the space fantasy that I deleted the prologue.
That's one good thing about that thing.
The entire genre idea doesn't like thrill you to your core.
So Morgan, a thing that you should know about me
If you don't read, especially not fantasy,
is that I like certain things in writing, and those things are verbs. And
this
if you go more
story
than about
is not verb heavy.
if you go more than about 6 words of the verb, I start to tremble.
There is no sentences without a verb.
That's because that's grammar, Morgan.
There might be a couple sentence fragments, but I do not heavily rely on sentence fragments.
That's whatever. This is a tool. Trudy, are we getting in your way of doing the creation thing there, or
No, it's okay. I'm just trying to unstick my brain. This is difficult.
So a suggestion
that's
I
part
have
of the trouble
for you.
that I was having when I was
So you're trying to write short. Don't just type a whole lot. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Just go to where I am here.
Okay.
It goes back to
and relate it
and just type words. I don't care what they are. Type a recipe for hummus. I don't care. Just type words.
Okay.
And then do the thing about creation is whatever thing, right? And that'll happen. Because you're trying to fit it into a tiny little spot.
No.
And that's not at all gonna happen. Because you don't have training for that. I can do that because I have training for that.
I can't. I have to write big and then edit down. But
most people do. I have many years of experience doing that specific thing, so I can. Yes, Jessica. Patrick likes verbs. There's a breaking news digest. But the reason that people are bad at queries, the reason they're bad at synopses, the reason they're bad at a lot of things, you haven't done it before, okay? And the fact that you're 21 years old doesn't mean you have 21 years of experience doing.
I wish I was 21 years old.
It's the age I use for every single woman on the planet, unless she is younger than 21. Because it's a funny thing. I used it with the Girl Scout moms and they loved it.
I'd settle for 28. So
because
I got accused of 28 a couple weeks ago.
Each of them has a kid who is at least 8 years old. And you physically can't be 21 and do that. It's not even in Ohio, which is an abortion joke. So they were all like, 21. And I was like, yeah, they like me because of that. It's an easy thing to do. But the point is, if you don't have experience doing it, like writing is an umbrella term. Okay. Being able to do only a couple words about one thing is a skill.
Yeah.
And if you don't have it, of course you're going to be terrible. Of course you're going to freeze. Of course you go.
And my favorite saying about this is, if we wanted to write the story in 2 pages or 1 page or 250 words, we wouldn't have written the other 50, 70, 80,000 words, depending on your genre.
Is that underwriting, Morgan? Or is that only modifiers?
I think we might have a problem with the word count.
We're fine.
Middle grade?
Oh, the book's word count. Oh yeah, that's a lesser. 89 is beefy.
It is. I had conflicting input from a couple agents that I had
Interesting.
paid to take a look at my query a while back, and they were some were like, that's way too long, and some were like, no, it's fine.
Did they think that the first paragraph of your query was fine, having no action whatsoever?
Oh no, I'm talking about the word count.
Okay, just
the word count. It was an earlier version too.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, then never mind. That's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
And all right, so we have the creative thing.
I'm having a problem with the first sentence, just because if he wants to avoid,
it's a large pile of information.
Yes, it is. If he wants to avoid the dart, well,
does the dart come up again?
It does. He has to, like, in the end of the story.
No, doesn't exist.
Oh, okay. You're talking about
within the query. Does his fear of the dark come back into play?
I don't think so.
Okay,
that works. Good.
If it's not feeling like because this early in the query, okay. If you tell us he fears the dark, I think this early, if it's written well, the dark is a major thing throughout the thing, right? At least the first third, or that it gets replaced by something. But if it's an example that we don't use again, we can toss, like it's a one-off name.
Okay.
So is that less bad now to you? Because I agree that it was a lot of stuff, but the good part of that was that we were going to be weaving everything from there was going to be that stuff.
Right.
So
is there a way to
yes, what?
I guess I'm just thinking, because it's like 3, it's kind of like avoid things he fears and become a creator and his first, like what is it possible to like is it possible to get rid of avoid things he fears and then put it as the afterword, like he wants to become a creator and go to ace his life on earth, but he's a scaredy pants. I don't know. Kind of similar, I guess, to
we have this is big
where I have there's a problem.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
sorry.
What we have now is he has 2 goals. Do this really big thing, cool thing. Oopsie. On purpose. Yes.
But he's scared of the dark. Oh wait, that's a movie / book series /
Okay. All right. So I like the first sentence. You like the first sentence. Trudy.
Let me see. I think so. Yeah. I guess the
Yes, Morgan.
I have concerns over the double anding without a comma.
I thought I had a comma in there.
And my only other thing, I guess, is that like the bigger problem, but so the fear is a thing that drives him through the book, but the bigger problem that is blocking him from doing the things he wants to do is that Octavia says, no, if you do these things, you'll put your entire little family like in danger. So I feel
the family a part of the first third of the book?
Yes.
Where?
I mean, they're in the first third of the book.
Like, I don't see the family anywhere.
Those are his soul companions. What they call soul companions.
You just said the soul companions were integral to the book.
Is he a soul himself?
He is. Yeah, they're all in the spirit world, and they have a little family of 4 that are gonna go down and spend lives on Earth together and everything, kind of like soulmates.
Okay.
But they're like friends for now.
So
But
are those soul companions integral to the first third of the book, or are they just there?
I guess the only way in which they're integral is that in the first chapter you find out that that his abilities or studying creation or being in the dark by himself would put them in danger. And that kind of
That's a no.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a no. If it's only one chapter, so first off, from a structural perspective, if you introduce a fear in the first chapter and it doesn't appear again, that's, unless it gets replaced by something, that's a concern to me.
Yeah. Say that again. If
you have if you have something that concerns him in the first chapter, okay, but it doesn't reappear and doesn't get replaced, right? Then you've introduced something real early that then doesn't matter after, right? Bait and switch.
Or bring it back in.
Make it a bigger fear or toss it.
Yeah. Lean into it.
Right.
Because you can't invest in something that then disappears, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I guess what I mean, are you thinking that part of what I was talking about doesn't carry through the whole book?
Yes.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah. It dies in the first chapter. For example, in my first chapter, I have Brianna worried about Samantha being hurt by her father. Well, in the third chapter, she escapes him. I then replace that fear with her being afraid that he's going to come after her. So it doesn't end, it just changes. That makes sense? Okay.
Yes. So just to clarify, I guess, Octavia she is also the headmistress of the school that he winds up going to. And so she's constantly lording over him about, you can't do these things. And he's like, they're constantly trying to find out from her, what is this danger? Is it really that big a deal? What is it? Would you just tell us? And then he winds up poking the bear, so to speak, and there is danger. But so it doesn't go away. It's there like the whole book.
So it doesn't go away. All right, good. Okay. We have to decide. Okay. You know what? Let's go to the second sentence because it's been an hour. And at this rate, we'll be done at approximately after I die.
Oh no.
Okay. So what I was going to say before everything broke is that I think we can use either the bully, the lion, or the soulmate for the life study as this scary thing that happens at first day or early in the school thing, right? Does that work, or does it need to be something else? Because I don't know the book. I can't tell.
Sure. As a scary thing that happens, you mean like to carry his
to maintain the fear and to complicate his joy that he gets into spirit school.
Yeah. Okay. So I would say, well, the lion thing is terrifying. That happens on his first day there. But it turns out okay. But the bully is like a constant thing that he's always kind of like just ignoring this bully.
Does either of those?
And then it
can he ignore? Is it physical or is it verbal?
It's both. The bully attacks him physically and at one point and verbally. Actually, at 2 points, he kind of attacks him. It escalates, and he continues to he's like, at one point in the book, he's like, "Oh my God, I'm a coward. Why can't I just, And then when he does go down for his life on Earth, he winds up feeling like he failed because there was
good night.
There's a bombing, and he panics and doesn't move, and his friend is trying to tug him along, and he won't move. He doesn't want to move, but finally he moves. But then it's kind of late, and they get hurt. And anyway,
synopsis 101.
I know, yes, synopsis. Okay.
I mean, Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know.
Anyway,
I'm trying
I have a
to...
question. I have a
ahead.
question because I tried to sit there with you, and I'm like, okay, this is a thread that's not going to be in this thing.
Yes.
So, of the bully, the lion, or the life study, or something else, which of those is on the line, the straight line from the beginning of the book to being stalked, the danger they protected from, has to decide whatever thing?
Right. So I would say, okay, let me think. Probably the the bully for
Bully.
sure.
Yeah, that's what I was leaning toward.
Yeah, the lion
Okay.
too, but the bully is constantly there. The lion's
All right.
just
So
there.
usually, Bully, would you go to your damn bed? You do not need water. You need to go to bed. You have this. You wanted to irritate me. Here you go. Uh-huh. How about that? Yeah, you've gotten my attention. That's what you wanted, right? To feel important? Uh-huh. All right. So usually bullies are taller or they better dressed or whatever. Is there an aspect of this bully's manifestation or backstory or whatever that intimidates Benjamin?
He is well, he has this power that they don't understand how he can do it, but he can like shove or hurt or trip you, for example, without even touching you. And
Okay.
Benjamin doesn't know anything about how to do
Okay.
any of that, so he's just
Frank is a little weak for that.
um,
And so the kid does that to him? Well, that's a buzz.
yeah, and he also physically like attacks him at one point.
Okay.
Kicks him in the stomach.
Is he... Go to bed! Go! Charlotte? If you watch this stream... I don't use my kids' names on the internet. If you watch this stream, you'll find that everything, including their social security numbers. Good Lord.
Oh my gosh.
All right. I'm gonna make something up because it'll make sense.
Okay. And then we'll correct it with the real details and roll.
Morgan, you enjoyed that way too much.
I mean, this is how this works.
I know.
I'm just reassuring Trudy that we've done this before.
I get this wrong,
and
on
that
purpose.
hers
It's
isn't
concept
bad.
language. Have you watched one?
Good.
I'm
like, oh no, I broke everything. Okay.
It's all what's called concept language. Okay, it might be 5 feet away, right from a different floor. It might be whatever. It might be a second day. The idea is that we're getting through that he wanted this thing. He wanted to get into this school, and then he gets in, and something bad happens. That's the concept we're trying to convey here. Okay.
Okay. Sure. That makes sense.
Also, by this point, we should be at least in chapter 2, if not chapter 3.
Yeah. We're when he's at the school.
Yep.
We're
first day of school.
Quite several chapters in.
Hooray! Because I have trouble getting my first when I write a query for my own stuff, which is a death idea. Don't do that. I have trouble getting the first chapter done in less than a paragraph. That's what, it's someone else's book. I don't know about all your side characters. Okay, so again, sponsored by Trojan and Bear. Okay, I'm gonna. So you're gonna have to. I would suggest adding the soul stuff, soul companions throughout the book to make them actual important. Because having them disappear is not going to work unless you replace them with something else, and I don't think you have done that. But this is the thing we have to do now.
Right.
Then I'm gonna. Because we don't see them here at all, right?
The soul companions.
They're nothing. They don't exist.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Right.
And that's a sign that you either is a sign of one of two things. Either you haven't captured the core of the book, or they're not in the core of the book.
Okay.
And I'm writing something with 12 characters, and I include 12 main-ish characters. It's a group thing. I include 2 of them in the synopsis of the query by name, because
Wow.
you can't do 12 named characters in a synopsis. Everyone would die.
I have like a lot of characters, and
I do too. I have it's a treasure hunt with theater teams. I have a lot of characters, and most of them did not survive the synopsis. They feel very attacked, of course, because all characters think they're important, and most of them could go away. All
How
right,
many of them are point of view characters?
3.
Okay.
Yeah.
All of those get named in your synopsis.
It's not my turn to feel very attacked, Morgan. I need to include that in the thing, actually.
Oh, can you imagine querying Game of Thrones book 7 and all the point of views?
Who read that?
Oh my God.
Not me. Anyway, we're trying to set a record for a second sentence here of
Okay, so let's see. I like it. I like it. It's got detail, and we see the bullying rather than get told it's one of the trials and tribulations.
That's exactly why I asked that, because every bully has their thing.
Yeah.
Ask me how I know. Don't ask me. You don't want that. I will rant like.
That's a different stream.
You will think that my abortion talk was just casual conversation.
I think that's for your therapist.
I don't have one, which is why I do this instead. Okay, so next, do not even. I don't care who's bleeding, go away. It's back in your room. I'm gonna unmute. Okay, I can even do that.
I'm trying to mute you so your kids are more off screen.
It's not gonna work. You can't predict it. It's artificial unintelligence. All right, so after the boy tripping thing, okay. So if you're gonna build the soul companion into the thing, so they're integral to the plot.
Yeah.
We need Octavia in here.
So
basically now, I think.
Okay. I think my biggest complaint is you call them soul companions, and I'm unsure if we're souls or not. And I think companion souls might make it more clear. And at some point, we do need to mention that he hasn't been born yet.
We have
right. That's what I was trying to do by saying an ace his first life on Earth.
Right.
I was hoping that would.
I thought he was already on Earth.
No, he's going to school so he can study to become created and born and things.
Okay. Oh, that's a lot of backstory. Is this epic fantasy or is this regular fantasy? Is this epic fantasy?
Second world fantasy? Portal fantasy? End up in the real world, so it's kind of portal-y. With the soul,
but it's only one
another realm.
Right. They're actually only on Earth for one chapter, and the rest is in the spirit.
Oh,
so it's like a reverse portal fantasy.
Okay. All right. Okay. We need a first sentence that establishes this world building thing. One sentence. No. One sentence. Write until you have what you need, and then I will edit it down. Do not write only one sentence. Just write. Just explain it. Right here.
Wait,
in
what?
front of this. Right here. Right here.
Wait. Oh gosh. So at the beginning. Okay, just describing the. Oh my gosh, I can't write. Okay, I'll write it before that.
No, Morgan, no.
What?
Oh my god. Okay. So just with no finesse, just
In
write
place,
what,
blah goes to place to become thing.
okay. So
That's
without
your world
mentioning
building right
Benjamin,
here.
we're just describing the setting.
Get in
I
bed.
can't find it.
I'll be back in one Jinglehammer jiffy.
Sure.
This is brought to you by Trojan and Bayer.
In the soul world? Realm?
Could I call it the spirit realm sometimes in the book. I mean,
Should we capitalize that? We don't have to.
I don't. There's an actual name for their part of the spirit realm in the book, but I don't want to confuse people right away by putting a bunch of proper names.
No proper nouns.
Yeah. But
that's fine. Spirit realm works.
I'm not sure what to say after that. Like, there's a bunch of souls who haven't been like
souls who haven't been born. Keep going.
Have to go to school first.
Go to school to oh my gosh.
Become human?
Yes, well, sort of. That's like part of their testing.
Do we need to know?
They're learning to become better people, basically, and
they're
then
not people,
going down on Earth. Right? Yes, and then going down on Earth is part of that learning.
Within the query, do we need to say more than human?
More than human? What do you mean?
We need to say more than this word. Is this enough for the query? The limited view of the query, which doesn't contain your paragraphs of thinking, which I lovingly will delete.
No, that's true. That's true.
Hooray! All right, that was sincere celebration. I don't do sarcasm like that, except if you're Drea. He said lovingly, because Drea and I have. That's blurry, Morgan. Right now, there's energy pushing units. I don't think so. I'm going right for verbs.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Okay, is it spirit school? Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's cool. Okay.
Should I replace that eventually with the name of the school?
First, what? Okay, what? Say again.
Oh, I said, should I replace that eventually with the name of the school, or that?
Yes, that would be good because yes, it's fine. We have Benjamin, creator.
Although there's a lot of schools, so we don't know which one they're going to go to. Assuming in the beginning, but I don't know. Go to school, I guess. Anyway,
we can fix it later if we know it. If we don't know it, we can't fix it.
Okay. Anyway, carry on. Sorry.
No, I'm waiting for you to do a thing.
Oh, sorry. What do you want me to do?
Also, if he's acing his first life on Earth, but only one chapter is on Earth, then we can't have.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that was just my subtle way of saying he hasn't been born
not on
before.
Earth. Right? See,
yeah.
Okay.
But
people who regularly read that genre may have picked up on it. That subset does not include Patrick.
No. I don't like fantasy because too many words are not verbs, and specifically they're modifiers. This is I have trauma and success bonded to verbs because they do things, whereas modifiers sit there going, it's cerulean, not blue, and I don't care. I don't care how the leaves are. I don't care about the rain. I don't care about any of that stuff. I just care about what happens. Yes, you mischievous child.
Mom won't let me plug in the fan.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. Let's see.
So, days off of school are glorious.
I used to like federal holidays, and now they can all die in a fire.
I didn't have this one.
They did. They very did. Okay. So concept language. Okay. Now, I have to go to synopsis to get after the bully language because we have this much text remaining in the query that I can use, which is one plot point. He says he can't, which is inert. Headlines? Oh, God. I can fix it. So the reason headlines is bad is we haven't had the media be concerned yet.
Okay.
So
Okay.
people within the world, like a teacher at the school might warn about it, right? Because if it's important enough to be in the news, it's important enough to be news at the school, which means something that he listens to. Or you can say then he hears about an unknown blah blah thingy, whatever doing stuff, right? But
Okay,
headlines
so I
takes
can
you
just-
away from the
Okay,
Because
so I can just say
having-
he hears.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
it's a little vague. I want to know from whom, because that builds the world with it. From a teacher, for example, would be fine.
He does overhear a conversation between Octavia and this other
Okay.
person who works there
Okay.
that has to do with that. So
So
we could.
now, is that bars him from participation in creation class? How many does that skip us ahead too much in terms of plot or not?
No, it's
Okay,
it's
then do
within
it.
the first couple of days of school.
Okay. Can we need transition language there? I just tell it. But let's get that. Okay, let's just do this. I'm gonna just do this because we're gonna need to. I'm gonna toss all this because we do not need any of it. He said lovingly. And this is half the length it should be. The reason for that is that, again, we deleted things that weren't happening. We deleted 5 sentences worth of backstory. Okay. You said I ask these questions because I want to be clear, not because I'm trying to hurt anybody. But you're
Sure.
going to revise these things to make the companion souls be present and necessary, right?
Okay.
You are or not?
Yes.
You are? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you think that's a good
Yes.
idea? Okay.
Well, I don't know the book. But you can have him be focused on only himself. But if he goes to school, the notion that he's going to be focused on only himself still, especially being terrified of things.
So maybe the bully is picking
Right.
on him and his friends, or he manages to distract the bully from picking on his friend and attracts the bully's attention to himself, or whatever it is.
Sure. I mean, his friends, his companions are the ones who stop the bully from bothering him. They're the ones who
There
keep
you go.
coming to Benjamin's rescue.
Okay, there you go.
Agency, but yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, it's middle grade where
Yeah, I
characters
know,
start off
I know.
without, and
Yeah.
then they get agency.
Yes, Morgan, go looking for the asterisk.
Jessica
noun.
would like to suggest a third sponsorship brought to you by Duct Tape.
I have thought so many times about duct taping their mouths shut.
My sister has an incredibly long list of not a parenting technique, and duct tape is on it, and kennels is on it, and stun guns is on it.
The
That's a very
mail.
big list. Waterboarding is probably on it.
You used to be able to mail your kids to places, and now you can't because then people did it, and suddenly somebody there are photographs of kids being mailed somewhere. And I see the reason you can't duct tape your kids' mouths shut is they'll talk about that at school.
Or when they were
True.
2.5 years old and come home and tell their mommy that it actually happened to them.
That's a
There. And then we
Oh
didn't
my God.
figure out that I was ADD in the hyperactive talks a lot until I was 40. Say what?
So, Trudy, we're gonna have to do a second session, which I say not because I'm about to log off, because I'm not, but because there's no way we're gonna do the whole thing tonight. So, but
Sure.
that's fine. We can. I mean, it's part of this is amusement and part of this is editing. But this thing was anyway. He said lovingly. Morgan has muted herself for whatever reason. Okay. We need to put the
Clock chimes at the quarter hour.
Okay, yeah. We need Octavia in here. We need a. Okay. This is going to be one of those queries where we find a way to somehow mash everything in together. Because we're trying to fit 10 pounds of plot in a 5-pound bag. You can do it. You have to be so careful. Okay.
This is very difficult.
Oh, I got it. One of them. Okay. Now, Octavia, I'm going to ask a very bad question, but a necessary question. Trudy.
Okay.
And you're about to feel very attacked. Ready to feel attacked?
Okay, ready.
Tell me about Octavia.
Oh, okay. Like,
talk to me about your book writer.
Okay. Wait, there's supposed to be a book already? No.
Yeah, well, that's if we're not writing the book after the query.
I'm kidding. No. So, like personality or what she does in the book.
Who is she to Benjamin? Why does he care about her?
She's his guardian along with his companion
So like
souls.
Almost like
let
foster
Trudy
mom.
talk.
So they're in the spirit realm, they have creators who are their parents, but in a very unusual situation, their creators were destroyed by
Parents are killed. That's
yeah. And Octavia, and Octavia is their guardian, so she takes care of them. And
them or him?
Them, Benjamin and his soul companions. They all live together, like a family.
Did I just do that correctly?
Let's see.
Basically foster siblings, right?
Yeah.
So I got it right?
Right.
Yes.
They were all created by the same creator.
That's
parents.
not that. Don't need that. Don't need that.
Yeah.
He said lovingly. People when they get on a roll, they go spill information, paragraphs of backstory. I don't want that. I don't want to know too much. I helped a friend 2 years ago. No, a year and a half, whatever. Anyway, and she was like, we worked for her query for 3 hours. And I'm like, and she's like, also there are ghosts. You want to know about that? No, I don't want to. I don't need another plot. I have taken 300 words of a pitch and stripped away crap and stuff and nothing, and I don't want to know about the ghost.
And
I can talk about more stuff if you want. No.
I've also made him cry by telling him after we finished the query that final thing was going into the big climax and not the second half, and he cried.
That was the one that you had written to the climax in non-linear order. And do you remember how you felt during that, Morgan? Do you remember how attacked you felt during that, Morgan?
I mean, I remember it to this day.
You were, since we have this live stream in her channel, you could find it if you really, really wanted to. And to date, it's the most concerned I've ever seen her be about me, because I was like, I had so many words that I couldn't say to her. Because at this point, we were not having people on the live stream to have us work this stuff. They were watching us do it. And so to have the writer be there, I had so many words that I couldn't use. And some of them date to the 80s. And you can't use them now in an education setting. And it was a thing that happened that I still... Why you do this to me, Damie?
Because when you correct a query, you add more and more details until it turns into a synopsis. From Jessica, Patrick's nightmare novel, 50 Shades of Blue and no verbs.
Oh,
Here's
sure, it's
one.
not 50 Shades of Purple. Prose.
That's the one I was going to use. Yeah. All right. All right. Then,
Oh, hey, yeah, this is pretty close to a true blue. It's too
Okay.
bright, I think, for an Egyptian blue.
do not even blue with me, Morgan. I will cerulean you. That's not even a thing. I'll make it a thing.
Oh my god.
Yeah. The part of this is editing. Part of it is not editing.
Oof.
I'm sorry. Yes, honey. Yes, honey. Quiet. I'll try, honey. She's trying to sleep, and I'm not helping.
Oh no.
And she's
Try not
so
to
she's
torture you.
so she's all of 8 years old. This is I have to give you this image because you might use it in the book eventually. She's standing there in only her underwear, looking at me like she's possessed. It's the funniest image. Her hair is hanging over her face. It's just the most and she thinks she looks menacing. I think she looks like she wants an Oreo.
I mean,
oh my god.
Can she do both, be menacing and need an Oreo?
Okay, I'm not being mean, honey.
She could
I'm
menacingly
processing
eat an
anger. Right? Okay. Now, if we can get to the 5th sentence here, we might finish before Joe Biden dies. He said lovingly. No, he's too old for that. Before, no, that whatever. Let's just move on. Whatever. Because the thing about him isn't that he's dying, is that he sounds like he. Okay, 6th sentence. All right, so this is the climax of the first half or whatever, right? Or something similar to it.
Yes. Yeah.
So we need. Okay, let's go to the synopsis and see if I can pull things.
So I add more stuff.
We have to, because right now we don't have. Right now we have 1, 2, skip a few, and that's
Your
what I've seen.
synopsis, or sorry, your query was just long enough, and then we trimmed it.
We
Yes.
took out the things that aren't query. He said lovingly.
Okay.
We are not including the ruler of the spirit realm. There's too much plot that takes focus too much away from Benjamin. This is his story, not hers. In case you were curious about that, yeah, we cannot. We can have her being powerful, but the focus has been him doing stuff.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, actually, never mind.
No, okay.
I was gonna tell you about something else that's important that happened.
No, it's not the synopsis.
Not related.
No. We don't need paragraphs of also in the news.
It's a side plot thing.
Yes, side doesn't exist.
Just trying to think of other things.
Nope, don't. Okay. Oh, okay, good. That's
The bully isn't in the synopsis.
E.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
I can cut whatever.
I was thinking of him as a side plot.
Yeah, no,
but I
which
kind of just
totally makes sense because you
Yes.
want the query to be about the stakes, and if that's not part of the stakes, we need to reorient.
We
Maybe
need to
we
have-
go to he takes the test and things blow up, literally.
The
he
important thing
thinks
about the
he's
bully
ruined his
is that
chances and-
it is. We have him, as I said before. We see him wanting to go to school. Well, the bully being unkind at the school throws and playing into his fear
keeps the fear thread
gives us
going.
that plot intensity of thing he likes is suddenly bad, and also there's his fear popping up. So the thing he wanted isn't as good as he wanted, and the thing he didn't want is still there. Makes sense? But if the bully doesn't show up again, we can put it in. It's not named, so that's a good thing.
I mean, the bully is throughout until the climax. Then he's not as
throughout.
important
Okay,
as
do you want to weave the bully in more of the query, or you want to take the bully out and replace the bully with some other thing, tapping into the fear and or the school not being everything he wanted it to be?
Let's see. I mean, I think the thing that weaves that fear thread through the best is probably the bully.
Okay. Yes, honey.
How do you cure cramped legs?
Water can help. Lying down can help. Stretching can help.
Like just stretch.
You have cramped legs and you're standing. I'm trying, honey. I really am. I can show you some.
Oh my gosh.
You have a kid, right?
Yeah, I have 3. Yes.
The kids not knowing how to stretch and doing it totally wrong. Like a skateboard, except they go even wider. And that's
oh yes, yes. Oh, that's cute. Oh my gosh. Sounds kind of similar to my 6-year-old kind of doing that and then telling me he was doing the splits, which was not happening.
That's a very child move. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
This is the slowest.
Then why do you tell us to be quiet?
Because
Oh
the
my
entire internet can hear you now.
This is the slowest query ending I've ever done. But at least it's funny. I saw a stream where people did like 5 in an hour, and they weren't marking up. They were just talking about generally. And I'm like, how are you going so fast? And this, they would have been done by before 10. All right, so this thing. All right. So the bully. Okay, I'm just gonna paste this in. And we're gonna.
So, short note on formatting synopses.
Like
Typically, anything under 1 page is single spaced. Anything over is double spaced. And so, for a 1-page synopsis,
this is fine. The issue here is the lines after the paragraphs.
yeah,
Which is easier to fix.
Okay.
There you go. Well done.
Thanks.
What was that?
I was just going to say you don't double space between paragraphs, but you do indent, which in queries you don't do because it's an email.
Okay, I see. Got it.
Yeah.
I did have an extra space between paragraphs, didn't I?
Yep.
That must have been a formatting thing I did by accident. I didn't even realize I did that.
It happens.
It can be default, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can chop that later, but the query is the same.
It looks like you have a 3-page synopsis right now. Why? Because it's single space in a page and a half, and
it's
2-page synopses don't exist.
I can hold on. You know what? I'm going to fix it right now, so you won't say that. Watch me, Morgan. Put us on the. You are okay. Good.
I'm looking. Oh, sorry. It's my clock is chiming 12. Oh no, 11. It's only 11.
Oh, you scared me for a second. I was like, wait, it's 10. Over here.
I have 2 cavities getting filled in the morning, so I can't stay late.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Forever. Okay, then. That's 1. We have 6 lines. Okay, I'll do this.
I think we can just delete that unfortunately bit because we talked about him studying creation and the planet never comes up again, even though it's a cool idea and super exciting.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Aha.
Usually we try to put in how, but we're tightening up here.
Sure.
We don't mention those 2 places again.
See, Valley.
Wasn't
Yeah, 1 off.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how to talk about that without mentioning the names. So I was
Mhm.
like, oh,
Right. And the rest of the astral realm.
they're in like a stable or something.
I worry. Yeah, I was gonna say spells trouble is a little dangerous in anything fantasy because we don't know if you're talking about a literal spell or not.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Those are
yeah,
vague.
that makes sense.
Trouble is nothing. I mean, does that mean a stub toe? Does it mean death? I don't know.
Oh, you're asking me? Oh, they could be destroyed or
There you go. That's fine.
like I did.
Go anymore.
Sure. Yeah.
Death is all you need.
I mean, we can change it to could instead of will.
Right.
But yeah.
Don't need that. Sudden. We want to see life skill study thing introduced before because right now it's just like, here's the thing. So I build it in maybe here. It's a class to take or whatever.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
he could have been like a 50-year-old man, but also a 14-year-old soul.
Yeah. Well, in this first book, Octavia tells him that he has to keep his life short so the danger doesn't like find him down there. So he only lives to be like 10 or something.
And again, we have no companion souls in this.
I mean, the bombing was one of his companion souls. right?
Yeah, he was with one of his companion souls in that life. And that's the friend that got hurt along with him when he didn't act quickly or when he
Is
gave
that the
into
one
his
that
panic.
is that the one that gets kidnapped or not?
It's a different one that gets kidnapped,
Okay.
actually.
Just checking.
Sure.
It's all process. This is all process.
You're doing this very quickly. I'm impressed.
It's not a query. Okay. We don't need just in time. We need the result of the just in time. What? It's all process. What is the plot integral result of him passing out, or does it matter?
I mean, it really doesn't matter, honestly.
Okay,
He wakes up shortly after, so we get to cut that, I guess. Yeah.
So from here, right here, this word, what is the next thing that matters to the plot? Is the next paragraph?
The Shadow Walker. Well, the Shadow Walker takes the bait, so they draw him away from his soul companion. And then the next thing that matters is the professor finds them, and he gets them out of there, and they're
Let's process
chased.
this.
They're chased
Okay.
by other.
Is
lots of
there
Shadow
a consequence of them being chased, or is it just nothing that happens?
Well, no, they escape okay.
Okay, cool. So that's this, right?
That's what?
Toss this.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, except I mean, I guess they have to know, or at least I think they have to know that they get rescued by the professor. I guess,
Escape.
but okay.
Yeah, because
That
if
works.
the injury doesn't mean that they get delayed or whatever, then it's just nothing that happens. Make sense?
Has the
Sure,
professor shown
yeah.
up before or after
think
in
so.
this synopsis? Is
Not
it-
in the synopsis, no.
Okay.
There we go then. Yep, one off character.
Okay.
People are too close to the book to figure this stuff out, but I haven't seen this before. I don't need it. Okay, so let's see. Fixed himself. He caused the breach.
Is this one, I guess, the Locrian?
Locrian.
Oh, Locrian, yeah.
Is daddy?
I can't tell you that.
I'll have to read the book to find out.
Yeah. That's crossing my fingers. This is the first in a series. We'll see.
Yeah.
So you're saying I could read the book and not find out?
That is actually what I'm saying. Yes.
I can read the not between the lines because it sounded like that's what you were saying when you said there's a whole series.
Yes.
And also, you can't keep secrets in a synopsis, so at least not that big of one. If it happens on the page in this, if that's like the big twist of this book.
Yes. No, it's not. No, we don't find out anything about that right now.
Either this and life study. Those two things. This is now 5:58. You can do.
Wow. 558.
6 lines extra that you can just have. And that's my first read. I could probably cut this down to. That's wrong. Hold on.
But
This
we're
is
all on one
probably 558. I could take this sub 5 if I had to. Because
Yeah.
I've been doing this kind of thing
Okay.
for a while, so I'll just do this.
So
thing.
while Patrick likes to trim it down to a 1-page synopsis, I have rarely seen an agent specify how long they want the synopsis to be.
We do know they can search by length.
True.
I like to give people a 750 or
Yeah.
shorter
Yeah.
because I'd rather have the smallest thing you realistically need.
Yeah.
Than be like, I have a 9-page synopsis. That's great. No, that's death.
Yeah. 3 page is my sweet spot, but I can get it down to 1 if I need to.
I can get it a lot less than that.
Oh yeah, no, obviously. But I feel like it reads better. I know it doesn't need to read well, but it doesn't hurt to read well. So
it has to be clear and consistent.
Yeah.
But most people in trying to write that stuff, they focus on have to be short, and all the writing breaks.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then because they're trying to get it to just be the same information, but in jam tight, and that's not a thing. And they also, honestly, I've been doing this since Bush was in office.
Wow.
So I do. So, yep.
Awesome.
I had my boss back at my first full-time job left me a project one morning, well, afternoon, but it was my morning, saying, hey, can you cut 2 lines from this story that I can't? She couldn't cut the 2 lines. She wanted me to do it for her. And she'd been in journalism since before I existed. So it was fun. I found the 2 lines to cut that she couldn't find. And it was what you saw there. Just,
nice.
do I have, if I delete this word, will I get fired?
Does it still make sense?
Yeah. Do I need this? Does it repeat? Okay. So we need. He fails to find Peter him. Okay, how close to his school is this breach?
Well, it's in a different realm.
That's not.
But
how easy would it be for someone?
They're going to be traveling through. Okay, well, basically, well, wait, are you asking like how in danger is he?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it easy to access the school from the breach?
So they don't think it is. However,
They're
to make
wrong.
a long story short, like, yeah, they're wrong. Like his dorm that he sleeps in is a protected bubble of the astral realm.
Does he think it's
like
unfair?
It's safe there, but that's how the thing gets into him. Does what?
Okay, so do adults enact some rule barring something because of this, and does he think it's unfair?
Because of the breach?
Yes.
Well, yes. Actually, Octavia tells him that because of the breach, he has to do a very shortened life study. He's not allowed to go down for a normal length of life.
That's a life
very short one.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, this isn't very important, but she tells them they're not allowed to sleep in their room until the breach is fixed. So they like crash with her.
Wait. They can't sleep in their room, or they need to crash with her so she can watch over them?
Kind of both.
Okay, because those are two
they have
different things.
To
if it's fine to crash under oak trees,
Yeah, no, she wants to watch over them too. Yeah,
Okay.
that's true.
Because I mean, I was a college kid once, and if I was asked to stay out at the dorm room for a while, I would find other places to crash.
Yeah, they ask if they can sleep with one of their best friends, like in their room instead, and she's like, no, you sleep with me. So.
So, do they find out in this book that they're soul siblings? And do you have the song Soul Sister stuck in your head?
I did not need that, Morgan.
Well, I do now.
I mean, if I have to suffer.
No, you can just do it solo.
Oh my gosh.
You get the life saying that earlier.
It's my fault. I'm sorry.
The first part actually was a question, though. Do they find out they're siblings?
Oh, well, they actually are. They're like, quote unquote,
You've
like
told
they're not.
us, but do they know that they had the same creator in the book?
They do. They do. They know that they do.
Then.
Yes. Yeah, they know that.
Because I kind of
but
feel
they're
like
not related by. Oh, go ahead.
I kind of feel like Companion Souls has a weird different vibe when really they're treated like siblings, and so that maybe avoiding that.
Except
maybe it's just me.
Well, the only problem I run into is that the creators made them as pairs to be paired up as soulmates. So I don't want to say brother sister because then it sounds like incest.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
So I came up with that's my only thing because
yeah, no, I understand that. Okay.
I had that comment a long time ago. Someone was like, "Is this incest?" I was like, "Oh my gosh, no! Let me change that." Yeah. So. But yeah, I know soul companions can sound a little wordy or confusing.
Yeah. Does the soul gender matter?
I mean, they are a gender, but when they go down eventually to live various lives, they can be whatever gender they want when they're down there. So
okay,
if that makes sense.
Do they get to pick the life they pop into? I guess somebody assigns
Yeah, they
it.
do. Yeah, they get to pick.
Okay. Do they know how long it's going to be when they hop in?
They know they know the probability of how long it'll be.
Okay. Do some of them like to try and defy the odds and pick super short lives and expand them?
Yeah, well, sometimes. Yeah, what's kind of funny is there's kind of what they think is a glitch with the simulator that's helping them choose a life. And Benjamin gets a much more challenging life than he's supposed to. And Octavia is very upset about that because she wanted him to have a very easy life. But he's excited because
he wants to show how awesome he is.
Yes, exactly. And he's sick of Octavia controlling everything.
How are they still awake?
Are you talking about this? This is my kids now. If that's what you're hearing.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I was starting to laugh because I was like, "Oh, now it's my kids." You forgot I was still on a video.
Mine found a fan, which, as you know, is a necessity for February sleeping. It's bedtime bingo is they will want an object they have no reason to need. Whether it's a bicycle helmet at night or a book that they could not they basically can't read. They usually want to use it for structural purposes for architecture in their room. Because they're making something they shouldn't be making, and that's why they're quiet. Oh God, I should go look. I'll be right back.
They got quiet.
Mine get very philosophical right when they're supposed to go to sleep.
Oh yeah. That's what I've heard a lot of. I have a roommate right now, and the questions her child comes up with. Oh my gosh. I shared this before, but it was still hilarious. So I'm going to share it with you since you're a fresh audience. So kid, 8 years old, we were explaining that adults cannot watch more than one episode of Captain Underpants within a 24-hour period. We just can't. It's no one and done, right? And he's like,
oh my
that's
gosh.
not true. I'm an adult. I have car insurance.
What?
That's apparently the first thing that popped into his head to prove he was an adult.
Oh my gosh.
Or
still
there's a
dying,
stuffed
and it's like
animal
a
they
month
want
later.
that they haven't seen in at least 4 years.
Does he have the extended car warranty? No.
No, he does not.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, kids.
Oh, let me know if my sound suddenly becomes weird or something. My headphones are warning me that they're dying, so I'm going to turn them off.
Sure.
Eventually, I'm going to turn them off if stuff will stop popping up on top of it.
We have this. Okay.
Okay. All right. Can you guys still hear me okay?
Oh yeah. Just fine.
Okay, good.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go shut this door, but I can still hear you.
Yeah. All right. Now.
Oh, sorry. We're back up in the synopsis. Okay.
All right. In this here, can we make this the stake sentence or not?
What was that? Sorry.
Oh.
Can we make this the stake sentence?
Just drop it right there. Boom.
Or is it, can I change it into a stake sentence, or is it not that important?
The stake sentence that
every query basically ends. Are we doing the ending or the this is what the story's about? Usually you're forced to choose between two different things, but you know, at the end of the query.
The exception is death. But this isn't death.
Yeah, this is a scary thing that happens and makes him realize, oh, that I have to take this more seriously.
But it's not a big.
But it's
it doesn't
not
launch between acts. Okay,
it doesn't
that's fine.
launch something specific. Yeah, unfortunately.
What does then within this? Do you see something it does? Is it this here?
Wait, is this the synopsis? No, this is the query.
The synopsis was cake. I fixed that in what, 5 minutes, was it? Something like that.
Oh, nice. Okay. Sweet. Okay.
I mean, if you've seen my streaming, this is my thing is if your synopsis, I give you 16 lines over and I can just chop that. And if more than that, I have to try.
Okay.
All right. And you were not 16 lines. You were 7 lines over and whatever.
Nice. Good deal. Okay. A lot easier than my query, I guess. Oh my goodness. So this is where I was having trouble because like the big, like life or death sort of thing is like, I can't reveal because that's at the end. So I'm
Yeah.
like,
Can't go to the end of the book.
of course.
He said lovingly.
Hmm.
Jessica, go write about the onion, Jessica. There's a thing she had an idea for an onion book. Anyway, can we use this as a stake sentence or not? Like, can we? I'd have to rewrite it obviously, but is the concept of it, but the thing that launches another act?
I mean, that you could use that because he does get increasingly more confident
It's a
about
decision about the dark and fear and creation. So it has all this stuff there from the beginning, right?
yeah, and that's
Yeah.
what makes him decide to be
Mhm.
like, well, forget this, I'm gonna go try it anyway on my own. Which wakes up
Yes.
Bear, so to speak. Yeah. I'm gonna disappear for like 1 second. I will be right back.
Do it.
Yep.
I will mute you.
Security. Fortunately, it's fixable. Can we fear hit here too? Okay, yeah. Still feels short.
I still feel like the bully doesn't show up
160s?
again, and
Yeah,
maybe
222. Wow.
yeah,
Read the bully hit.
yeah,
Or some other show of fear.
yeah. I mean, I want to put in the explosion, but maybe he fears his own powers. I don't know.
No, we haven't got that sense.
Yeah.
What was this? Did you have a question for me? Sorry.
So we
Yes.
have the queries at 222 right now. We need to build the bully in or choose something else as a show of fear continuing.
Okay, now they're
We
sneaking on
also need the companion souls to be in there continuing or not at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, did we work?
We're just
So what I have,
needy.
look at what I
Did
have so far. Okay, and see if see if you like the framework of it. Because after we took an hour for the first sentence rewrite, we're going a little faster now, which is
Yes.
fine. Which is good actually, because you don't want to spend an hour in each sentence. That's a little much. That's a
Yes.
comedy program, and I am not a comedian. I am not. Things are funny that I point out. Things are funny. Morgan and I have a thing we do, but
Okay. All right. And so you're asking me if that ending, that last sentence is
the whole thing, yeah. This structure is right.
the whole thing. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Reading. Let's see. Okay.
Does him ending up with a more dangerous life? Did the bully cause any of that?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay. Sorry. Just trying to.
No, it's okay.
Does the bully tease him for being afraid of the dark?
Ooh.
Well,
Or his inability to create or whatever.
well, interestingly enough, the bully is also the only other kid that's barred from practicing creation.
Oh.
So they have some things in common, much as they don't want to. But okay, so oh my gosh, I
The
had
bully
something
has been looking for a different way to practice creation anyway, right? And is taunting the kid for not choosing it himself.
Yeah.
There's your stakes for the bully.
What was the stakes? I'm sorry, I was reading.
So the bully is not allowed to do that. Bullies don't listen to authority figures. That's why they're bullies. So the bully will have found a way to study creation anyway, right?
Well, I don't know actually. Well, I mean, like, he's trying to stay as far away as he can from the bully. However, I don't know if this helps, but like right before it's actually immediately before he decides to go sneak out and practice creation. He has an encounter with the bully where the bully, basically they're accidentally in the same room at the same time in the evening, and then Benjamin confronts him and like asks like, what is your problem with me, basically. And then they get in this physical fight. Well, the bully physically fights him, and he's once again like, ah, and then he goes back to his room, and he's like really frustrated with himself, and he's like, I'm a coward. It's like the first time he totally confronts the fact that he's really a coward, and then he gets really frustrated, and yeah, I'm trying to see how I can tie that into.
No, I see it. I just gotta figure out a way to get the words.
Yeah. Because that doesn't directly make it. Well, I mean, he goes into their room, which he thinks is safe, but because of the breach, it's not. And then he goes and he's sitting there just being frustrated, and then he is like thinking to himself, basically, like, I bet if I was allowed to do creation, I'd be way better at it than my bully, basically. And then decides to he just kind of just starts trying it. He's like, forget all of this, and just starts trying to do it. You know, you were talking about wanting a way to bring the soul companions back in, and I just thought of something. I don't know if this works.
Type it.
But right in this same scene, like right before he practices creation on his own, like he just got done with the whole confrontation with the bully, and then he goes back to the room. The soul companion who winds up getting kidnapped in the end, she's kind of calming to him, and she comes and she's like, well, let's go out and sit by the lake or something. And they go out there together, and she's like trying to make him feel better. And she basically says, you know, she thinks he's upset because he's scared to go to life study. She kind of misunderstands because she doesn't know what just happened with the bully. But anyway, she says this thing that kind of sticks in Benjamin's mind, where she says, you know, it's normal to be scared, basically. And she says all that matters is that you do it anyway. And that's kind of a catalyst for him twisting that to kind of like be like, well, you know.
Am I hearing future love interest / soulmate?
I don't know. I'm not sure. No.
Okay. All right, try that.
Let's see. Yeah, that's getting better. Let's see.
57, which for 89,000 words is tolerable. I'd like to cut it more, but I need to know where the straight line is before I can cut stuff.
The straight. Sorry, what do you mean?
Straight line is before I can cut stuff.
Oh, in the query?
Because I details that we don't. I mean, I still think you're better off putting the companion souls maybe in the synopsis, but not in the query.
Okay.
The query, you have it being him, and then him, and then him, and that means that he has to choose to be brave, which is harder and thus more compelling than having your friends along with you doing it.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and if I have to thread them through kind of the whole query too, at least in a few different spots, that's going to add.
You would add at least 20 words, I'd say.
Yeah.
I have
because you saw I stapled on that tripping thing, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I thought stronger verbs were better than weaker verbs.
What do we still have placeholder text in there, Morgan?
No. I just feel that angry is stronger than irritated. I think if it wasn't middle grade, I'd have put pissed in there.
People who are afraid of things are usually also afraid of feeling strong things.
Okay.
Because if they feel strong things, they might do strong things, and they might get punished for those things.
So frustrated.
Speaking as a kid who was incredibly anxious, the thing I asked you in the beginning about that anxiety, Trudy, there's a reason for that.
So
Yes.
you have, Patrick, you've added a lot of
Modifiers? No, I have not.
sentence fragments with periods and not capitalizing the word. Is that a valid?
No, placeholder.
Oh, okay.
We haven't done the final sweep yet. Morgan, have you not noticed that I have not used a capital letter in that group on purpose since Trump was in office? I realized
Why
a couple
did you
years ago.
remind me that was a thing that happened? I'm sorry. Query.
You remember because you rolled best things. I realized a couple years ago that capital letters are either correct or wrong, but lowercase letters, if you don't use capital letters, you can't get them wrong. You can't have a T, capital H, and then lowercase e, right? You can only have a lowercase THE. So I stopped with them. That makes editing fun because I have to do this, and I have to do Control H with period, space, capital letter, and look for all those ones, and I, and all the contractions, and it's a lot of fun. But I hate capital letters.
I believe I remember in like 3rd grade, I took some standardized tests and I did great on like most of the English tangential stuff and randomly very poorly on capitalization.
Did you know that capital letters were invented? They're not native to language.
Well, yeah, no, obviously. Neither is punctuation.
Punctuation was invented to split lines of poetry. That was the genesis of the first bit of punctuation, the slash. Things have gone downhill from there.
I'm still rooting for
Interabangs?
I think the war on commas has gone on too long, and that writers should be able to say how they want their sentence enunciated and where the breaths should be and the pauses.
So here is the thing with that.
Some people overuse it. Clearly not me or you.
Morgan, you would
Yes.
use that to have 5 consecutive modifiers. He said lovingly.
No. I might on a rough draft, but by the time I edited it, it would not be a list of more than 3.
Raise your hand if you believe Morgan. I'm sitting on my hands.
Maybe 4, but only because in my space
See?
fantasy, they have octopus people.
Already added to
I'm
the list.
required to be nice.
And 4 is the holy or the like
No,
the lucky
no,
number
no,
in for
no.
octopi.
No.
Octopus think 4 is the better number.
I don't care.
Well, you're not an octopus.
Boy, we are just shocking the world tonight. Okay. The problem with that
Where
sentence,
were we?
honestly,
I forgot
is
what
that
we were doing.
in the query, Morgan.
Are we rereading it? Are we editing it? What are we doing?
I changed the sentence concept from all those fragments for emphasis to something less daring, because this kid isn't daring. He's terrified, right? Terrified kids play by the rules, right?
True.
But
ask me how I know. Don't ask
he's
me.
still trying to find a teacher to sneak around her rules.
He's trying to find a legal way to do the thing he wants. He's not stealing a book to study. He's going,
True.
teacher, can I have homework?
True. I mean,
and he knows, I bet, that these teachers will tell her about this. So he's using the system that she is part of, that she leads.
To put pressure on her.
No, to be seen complying.
Oh, yep. So
again, I understand how this kid thinks.
How many teachers' pets or, kids who follow the rules and ask for more homework end up as writers because writing is giving yourself eternal homework?
So the reason that we do that isn't that it's homework. It's that it's cheaper than therapy.
Well, okay. Can it be both?
True.
Oh, Morgan. No. And here's the reason. Well, for me, it wasn't, because teachers didn't assign me extra essays or whatever. Also, my mother assigning me essays on when I should do something did not cause me to like writing or anything. It caused me to think she was pointless and stupid.
I'm just saying there's a difference between homework you give yourself and homework your mother and or teacher gives you.
The reason I started writing, Morgan, creatively was because I was terrified of doing.
Oh.
I understand Benjamin if fearing everything. Again, there's a reason I had that bully specific mechanism in there, right?
Do you want to see my first book?
That must be it. The Book of Books, right? By Elizabeth.
That is awesome.
Now you know my super secret non-pen name.
But what? Who is Elizabeth?
That's not my pen name.
Oh.
Nice to meet you.
Wait, okay. Now all right. God, I thought that was your actual.
Morgan is my middle name.
Oh. 6 years.
Sorry.
Mind blown.
We're all learning something new here tonight.
God, the thing you could have done there is used a verb. Like, I blew your mind. That would have been good, but mind blown is a description, damn it. You used a modifier. Okay, so that's, and the interesting, I'm not going to say it on stream, but let's just say that for people who can think critically, no, I'm not going to say that, never mind. Because it would be giving away your whole name, your whole former name. Wow. That's just so. Every time I call you Morgan, have you just gotten used to people call you Morgan?
Oh, I go by Morgan all the time.
Okay, good. All right, so it's not some weird thing. Because we're at 11:48. Okay, Trudy's still looking through the query, I hope, and figure out what to like, right?
Yes.
Because I have for the Wild Ink thing, I'm going to be publishing under a different name because I'm not doing this one for reasons. And so I recently, they sent me a consent to publish thing, which is just so they can review the book. The story is nothing huge, I don't think. I'm telling myself that anyway, so I don't get my hopes up. But they say they have a spot where it's either write the name you want your legal name or the name you're publishing under. And I wrote the name I'm publishing under for the first time. So that was nice. It's not going to be this one. I'll probably have to change my Twitter thing. I did not pick Author Hopkins. I would not have picked Author Hopkins, but what do I change it to? Is whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I would be more secretive, but I'm on Facebook and my other alter ego is recommended regularly as someone you might know.
That's okay. I should not look for that then.
It's okay.
I don't know.
One is friends locked, one is public.
Yeah. And we don't. If you wanted to be close to me, you would be, and which I'm fine with. Trudy, you might not know this. We live like less than an hour away, right?
Oh yeah.
And we have never met in person. I've known you for at least 6 years, and I've never. We discussed this briefly a while ago. What would we do?
I mean, you did offer to go couponing with me back when you were in couponing.
Because I thought that I could get you to give me some of this stuff so I could save money even more.
You probably could. Because
I know.
I don't need all of it.
I took a guy from the Bernie Sanders campaign couponing a couple years ago because I had tons of coupons and they wanted food. But what would we meet up for? I could do this all the time, and you don't see that I'm in my pajamas all the time.
But if we met up, how many small children would interrupt you?
See, if I have trained my children
to do what? Interrupt you?
No, that's natural. That's a natural talent, raw potential, lady. No. So you get treated the way you dress, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I go to the grocery store, I wear business casual.
Oh yeah.
And kids, especially the real young ones, they see patterns, right? So they associate, noises with things. They associate visuals with things. So when my 5-year-old sees me wearing actual business pants, Daddy, can I go to the grocery store too? And my 10-year-old and my 8-year-old is all the same. Like, oh, I want to go to the grocery store. They know. So if I put on actual human adult pants to see you, they would think we were going to the grocery store and they would want to come with you. I would not be going to the grocery store with you because couponing is terrible right now. But also because if you wanted to meet my kids, you just said something. You get as much of my kids as you want. I get way more of my kids than I want.
I have a 2-year-old to celebrate this weekend.
A what?
2-year-old?
Oh, I thought you said funeral. I was like, what? You're going to piss on their grave? That's glorious. A verb associated with death. Hooray.
I know plenty of people who have had fraught relationships that, I respect their desire to celebrate a funeral, but I do not hold that much hatred toward anyone to be in that situation myself.
So missing out. As a former Benjamin, there's a reason I do all that stuff. If you need anybody to read this for being terrified of everything, I would read something. I'd read more than a first. We should get a first page in. Even though you're going to rewrite the thing because you're getting the companion souls in there. We should toss them from this. Brilliant.
I wanted to circle back to the word count. I did some quick Googling, and I don't know what the agents told you, but from what I've seen, 65 is usually the upper range. A couple sites did say up to 85. So if you could trim 4K, you might squeeze under there. I know.
I could try. You don't want to know how many words I cut already.
The book that I'm querying right now is 89,000 and started off at 131. So I know cutting.
Yes, that's very similar to mine. It was like 100.
I trimmed it down to 80 and then it crept back up again.
Just so really and modifiers.
What?
Did you know that if you write heavily verb-based stuff, your word count will be lower?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And very often you end up with white room syndrome and you have no clue what the characters are thinking.
You can have them think things. Think as a verb. And head verbs are verbs.
But think is a filter word, like an actual, not like a Patrick sense filter word. Things that characters feel, think, know, just state them as facts and roll on with it because it's coming from your character's point of view typically.
One exception notable to that one is.
True.
And I know that you weren't talking about this, but I think it's important and I think you'll agree with me about this.
Sure.
Use it to show contempt. It's so glorious. I love writing characters who are contemptuous. It's so much fun to let them be angry, right? Because again, former Benjamin here.
I was talking about info dumps, about how you want to get rid of them, how nobody describes their day. Oh, I'm going to open my bag and pull out my lunch. No, everybody knows how their day goes, unless it annoys the bleep out of them. And then they will complain every day about the same thing. So if you turn it into a complaint, you can put a lot more info dumping in. I mean, world explanation that they need. Critical information.
Trudy, let's get your first page in here and tell us if you like your query. I'm not trying to hurry you. I have all the time in the world.
Sure.
Morgan has 5 minutes.
Yes.
Morgan did not tell me that we had a time limit tonight.
We always have midnight, and I have 2 cavities getting filled tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
Do you need an adult?
No, one of them was on the watch list already, so it wasn't a surprise. The second one.
Oh, I should do the
Yeah, so I think I like it. I'll just like tweak. Yeah, I'll tweak. I think let's see.
What's a Bernedoodle? I'm sorry, I have to do some Googling.
St. Bernard
It's a Bernese mountain dog and a poodle. Yeah.
Should I guess the A was.
Oh my gosh, they look like they need regular brushing and can get super dirty.
Yes, she needs lots of brushing.
I have a short-furred cat who, despite his protests, is not allowed outside.
Oh.
Well, he won't wear his collar and he doesn't respect roads. So.
Oh, no. Not a good mix.
He doesn't get to go outside. And he refuses to speak English, so I can explain to him, if he wore his colors and stayed out of the street, I would let him out.
Honestly. Let's see. I mean, as far as
I don't know what the Heart School is.
Oh, you do?
No, I don't know what Heart School is.
Oh, I was like, you know the Heart School. But...
I do not have any. So
it's a performing arts college.
I'm not sure you need the last sentence here. You can keep it in because it's not going to matter. No reasonable agent will reject you because you have that sentence. They're going to care way more about the first page. Let's see it.
Let's see.
So you need to do 2 things to the synopsis. You need to do
the last
We'll come back to the query.
Oh, okay.
Let's see the first page of your book.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you want the first page of my book? How do I? Yes. Okay, so you want me to send that to you right now?
Just paste it in here.
Copy paste.
Got it. Okay. Hold
We've
on.
done this before. I usually do it first to see if, because my way of doing queries is one thing, and sometimes it doesn't work that well because people are writing terrified characters, and you can't write a terrified character who's also confident in the query. But I think we got the fear of the query pretty well. I could have written more terrified, but you didn't. You haven't said anything about that. And if you later decide, hey, I need this guy to be terrified more, I have some familiarity with that.
Awesome.
When I was being impeached by the House, I was really quite scared that something bad was going to happen to me. But I was not convicted. It was a wonderful day. Hillary and I were, well, she was, I would describe her as happy, but.
Okay, anything to stop him from doing voice imitation.
I saved us.
That wasn't my worst one.
Oh, I need no evidence. I appreciate you sharing your talents with us.
You've done that before. Oh, Lord.
Oh, my gosh.
Morgan, look up Mount Airy accent eventually. You will want to have your sound low because it will not matter.
There we go. I just wanted to.
Oh, yeah, bait and switch there again.
So, okay, I'm going to read this aloud for those following along by listening. It was the evening before placement day, and Benjamin was the most nervous soul in the entire spirit realm. Well, this morning he'd been nervous. From there, he'd progressed to terrified, and finally to wishing he could drown himself in the waist-deep pond in the middle of the woods. Unfortunately, you can't drown in the spirit realm. All day long, he'd been working hard to distract himself. At the moment, he was crouched in the back of Octavia's closet, trying very much to look like an old coat. He squinted, peering closer at the giant book he had propped open on his knees. This was made all the more difficult by the fact one of his legs wouldn't stop jittering up and down. I need more light, guys. He waved a hand at the firefly entourage that buzzed around his head. A few of them came closer, but one in particular swooped in to land on his face and stick its glowing yellow butt up his nose. Get off! His flailing caused a cloud of fireflies to scatter like little radioactive dust particles above him. He got up and moved to sit with his back to the closet door, affording him more light through the slats. He tucked a bit of his hair, as dark as night, behind his ear. Benjamin? A voice called. He froze, giving his fireflies a stern look with a quieting finger pressed to his lips. Ooh, that's a good way to state that. I've been looking for a better way. Okay. Rather unnecessarily, now that he thought about it. Eloise's footsteps jogged down the hall and entered the master bedroom. Benjamin, I know you're in here somewhere. He held his breath as she crossed their guardian's bedroom, coming to a stop just outside the closet and calling in a sing-song voice. Benjamin. He sighed, his fireflies drifting outward in the breeze. Resigned, he replied in a matching sing-song, I stopped existing. The closet door folded open. He fell onto his back in a flurry of fireflies and dusty, well-worn pages. Eloise stared down at him, folding her arms. Nope, no such luck. She smirked, the afternoon sun slanting across her ginger ponytail and matching freckles. What are you doing in here anyway? I think that's a nice blend of description, action, and world building.
It's on its way. Word choice. Look what I did up top there.
Yeah, you see. There.
Oh.
You start with conceptually bait and switch.
Oh.
Nervous? Well, not nervous. So I thought that just diving into the spariness of nerves on the first line would be a better idea.
Sure, yeah.
The evening before placement day, Benjamin had progressed from nervous to terrified and finally to wishing he could drown himself in the waist-deep pond in the middle of the woods. Unfortunately, he couldn't drown. In the spirit realm, nobody could. All day, he'd been working feverishly to distract himself.
This is still. You can infuse feverishly into toiling.
It's fever. Yeah, feverishly is totally a middle grade word.
I just don't like this to modify. You want to infuse it into working, but toiling is not the right word there. But straining is so good with the old code, which is fantastic language. Ancient code, I think, was better than old. Well, something other than old. Ancient is a little. I'm hesitant to use it because in fantasy, it's got its own sort of uses.
Moth-eaten. Are there moths in the spirit realm? There's fireflies.
Oh, you're talking about the coat. I was looking at the part above it. Oh,
Oh no, sorry.
oh no, it's okay. Stranger symbol and ancient coat.
Oh,
I
showing
mean-
this. This is a tell.
Ah, okay.
Made funnier by the fact one of my toes is totally tapping nonstop the entire time we're on the stream. Not out of nerves, just out of sitting fidgetiness.
Yes. Makes sense. Let's see.
Raise your head, wave your hand.
Oh, yep. Implicit.
Oh yeah.
This is not him being scared.
Oh yeah. Should he be scared of the light or dark of the closet?
I mean,
Should he be scared of being heard, not being scared?
Oh, sorry.
oh, I see what you're saying. True.
You should? Okay, good.
Yeah, I mean, I think that in the beginning, it's not said in the book, of course, but I think he's assuming everyone's outside. And then when he hears her
Oh.
footsteps, he's like, oh.
Okay. Then we need to. Okay, that's fine.
But that was in my own head and not on the page. So
Well, that's really good.
Wait, maybe he hears the front door slam or something when after Eloise's voice or something like that.
True. Yeah.
To show that they were outside, he thought he was safe.
Yeah, that makes sense. Especially with him yelling at them to get off.
So if something goes up my nose, sneezing, right?
I might cough
True.
because the
Something.
whole sinus is connected.
Also, pause is often a terrible word. He flailed.
And a cloud of fireflies scattered like
Fireflies
radioactive
scattered.
dust particles.
Little and dust. Particles are already small, right?
True. Yeah.
None of which is to say that you're stupid.
I think the difference is particles versus dust particles because we know how dust reacts in the light, like how it floats, where other particles might have different density. So I feel it adds a little bit to the visual.
Yes, Morgan, it's very shocking that you would want to have a modifier in here.
Hey, I can help Trudy justify every single adjective in there.
Yes.
Team adjective.
I'll just put it all
Bane.
back the way it was. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, we hold up our fist, but like in the letter A for adjective.
Oh, here's another process thing. Right.
I don't know the sign for adjective.
The only reason you would have this you wouldn't have the process there. But if he failed to sit, but he doesn't. So
Did he get up or did he
sit.
scoot back?
True. Yeah. Yeah, he's kind of like turning around and scooting up against the door. So yeah.
So he scooched back against the closet door.
Makes sense.
See, even those of us without visual imaginations can have perfectly decent spatial awareness
Okay,
with
this is a
conceptual
fact.
imagination.
Oh. How do I fix this though?
What are you trying to say? No, I'm just kidding.
Placeholder. We have him liking it. Affording is a word for liking, but we don't show him liking. We just inform the reader that he does like it, right?
Okay.
Now, if he doesn't smile, then that's fine, whatever he does. And for me, I'd just be a thing, right? But writing lack of reaction is way harder. I talked about that's just a show of hair color. That's you can have the light filter the slats and hit the book and his hair, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Because otherwise, this is so done. Someone tucking the ear of the first page of the book. Oh God. This is we don't yet have a mirror, and I'm very happy that we don't. I haven't woken up, but that early tuck of the hair color, yeah. Okay, he knows who this is, right? A voice called.
Yes.
A familiar voice called. I know. I tried to add an adjective.
Okay.
The reader hasn't been introduced to her yet, so I just thought.
So, I'm going to suggest as we close up this, because Morgan had to go 11 minutes ago, and she's being very nice about her verbs. Infuse a stern look into giving, or whatever it is, or glaring.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, but this is not possible. We can't both do this and freeze.
Maybe he glares and presses the finger and then freezes?
Yeah, I was kind of seeing him as like reacting by like freezing in the moment and then quick turning to his fireflies like
I kind of see his eyes flaring wide and then turning shoosh, shoosh, shoosh. I have a very quiet face, clearly. I mean, everybody makes the facial expressions when they describe it, right? You motion it a couple times and then you type out how to describe that.
Oh, sure, yeah.
The seat.
Sometimes
I had Brianna use her phone flashlight and testing that in my mouth because she has to use her hands and her feet on a ladder was a certain look.
I hear artists do it when they're drawing expressions too.
Makes sense.
Yes, it does.
And I assume we've all Googled the word for facial movement. Yeah. Okay, footsteps can't jog. Feet thudded or whatever. He doesn't know she's jogging. He hears her feet, right? He doesn't see them.
But
Right.
it sounds
Yeah.
like a jog. So how would you
I was-
describe that?
I was trying to fix that sentence myself too. I was like,
Yep.
footsteps don't do stuff, but I don't know how to. Yeah.
The footfalls came fast like a jog down the hall. I don't know. Thudded, I guess, is fast enough. I like how you worked in their guardian's bedroom because we didn't know who Octavia was yet. But you didn't like info dump it in the first paragraph when you said whose closet it was.
Good. Yes.
I'm hearing earlier drafts may have been different.
Early drafts are for the writer.
Yeah.
There were no
You
earlier.
can do anything there.
It came out this fresh and pristine.
Yes, it was exactly like this. I don't know what you're talking about. No.
We switched action.
Yes.
You can have whatever. It's fine.
Maybe
I thought it
have
was
him
standard
sign,
to split paragraphs between who the actor is, if it's the narrator versus not narrator. Like multiple other people, but when I do a thing, it's all about me. If not, let me know because I've been editing wrong.
That's to show her taking up space.
Ooh, I guess resigned. He folded his book, closed his book.
that could work. Yeah, that's true.
Because he's resigned to not have his secret book reading time, is what I'm assuming.
Yeah. Yeah, and that he was.
And he got caught.
I've been caught. Whatever. Yeah, I'm going to be interrupted now. Yeah.
You'll see this. It sees her folding her arms. So splitting doesn't make sense.
Hmm.
She's 11.
13.
They're both 13 then.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they're all 13.
Now, yes, I marked out a whole lot. However, it's still significantly yours. If you watch other streams, you'll see me do way more.
If I want what?
If you watch other streams, you'll see me mark up a lot of stuff way more. For me to go this long and not mark anything up, it's pretty good.
Yay. Okay.
And then this thing here, again, because
he really likes things to be in order.
No, yes, but also no. But mostly, no. It's just that there's ways to do. If you study this fantasy, and I haven't done this, but I know because I can just do it. There's ways stuff happens. There we are. That was fun. Verbs always do things. If you look at 100 fantasies debuts, the verb is going to be with the fireflies. Okay. Because the air is pushing them out, right?
Right. Yeah.
Sending or whatever. I don't know the verb for it now because it's, late, but there are ways things happen. And mechanically, that's the job. But it's hard to pick that out because people aren't me.
Blowing his firefly. He's not doing it on purpose. Though,
No, it's not. No.
Yeah.
Scattering his fireflies in the breeze doesn't convey the same thing, but it's not a bad option. Because the sense we have to have is the air is pushing them because they're so tiny, right?
That what? Sorry.
The sense we need for this is that the air is pushing them because they're so tiny, right?
Right.
We're giving the air agency, yeah.
He's sighing and they're just like, woo.
Yeah. Well, his fireflies drifting in the breeze isn't that agency. It's a fact about them, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Whirled.
No.
Puffed.
Whirling is no. We need them going, but not being dramatic about it.
Wafted.
Oh, that's too. No, sense waft. You can. OneLook.com has a thesaurus feature, and some of the options are not awful. Many of them are. But there's verbs for that. I just can't think of them now.
Yeah, I remember a long time ago actually trying to tweak this sentence in a similar way and just was like, nah. I was like, it's fine.
Slow.
Morgan, you of all people, I love you, Morgan, but you're not going to find a verb. It's the
flowed.
What?
Flowed.
Flowed could work. Although you can't.
Flowing is not transitive.
Yeah, flowing. You can't flow something though. I guess.
No. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not transitive. Side.
Could we switch the order and say something like his fireflies drifted outward?
No, that's going to be nonlinear.
What?
We can't have them going before we can't have them going before they have a reason to go.
That's true. Yeah.
I can tell. Having done this many times, I knew that was going to be. All right, let's see here.
We can put causing in there.
No, God, that's an I can't think of a verb for this verb.
I'm kidding.
He said, dispatching is too important.
Propelled is a little too forceful. Oh yeah. That's a nice soft weak verb.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and we do get my whirling. You love me.
I think it might be too strong, but for now it's because sending is so mute.
Do we get rid of out then? Whirling in the breeze? Or
yeah.
Because out in
sending
a little bit.
whirling on the breeze.
Whirling in the breeze.
Although whirling.
It doesn't get them going out though. It gets them just swirling. Sending.
I don't know that they're necessarily whirling out. I think they're just whirling in.
Or maybe whirling outward. I don't know why out in sounds strange to me, but outward in doesn't sound as strange. I don't know.
Because there's more of a gap between out and in.
Yeah.
I think
because out and in are antonyms.
Yeah. I think out is implied if the sigh sent them whirling, so they're going to go away from the sigh. I think it's implied. And I don't think the direction matters.
Excuse me.
I do like in the breeze, but you can cut that if you want to. Okay, it is 22 minutes past my bedtime.
Yeah.
I just had to help that sentence.
You really wanted to get
Oh my gosh, finding the right word is so
the job.
fulfilling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, Trudy, please don't delete this sentence in a subsequent draft because that would be really. Or if you do, save it in deleted scenes folder file. I have one that is 100 something pages.
Wow.
And I could have, it could be 150. I had a, anyway, I'm not gonna tell the story because we're done. Because if anything, you want anything more, talk to me in the group. I can do more stuff with you. But Morgan has to go to bed because otherwise she pumpkins.
Okay.
My lip hurts.
And I mean, I don't think I'd look that good orange.
Orange Hazelwood.
With the blue dress.
It's actually a shirt. I'm wearing jeans. Well, cargo pants. Pants.
There we go.
It looks like it has that sort of that.
I do like the drapey top though.
Yeah, the drapey.
Actually, t-shirt material.
It's you used a modifier, Morgan. How surprising!
It's t-shirt material, but I like the blue, and I have another shirt the same color, so I look wide awake when I'm not. Bright colors can do that if your coloring matches with it. So,
and
anyway.
Colors are modifiers, which is why Morgan cares about them so much.
Anyway, I like looking awake.
Oh my gosh.
But I realize blue doesn't do that for everyone.
I wouldn't. I use naps, but that's not a color.
I probably get more naps than you do.
You don't have 3 kids. And if you lock a cat in the room, nobody calls CPS.
Oh my gosh.
I couldn't use that either. The kids would talk and we need to have a meeting about it.
You could use spray bottles on your kids. That is not a disapproved parenting technique.
Morgan, everything I do with them, I have to think, if my kids tell their teacher, will I get a call? As Trudy knows, you have to be super, super. I'm amazed they haven't gotten a call to school because they're swearing yet.
When my youngest was 2, not to tell a long story, but when my
we're way past that now.
When my youngest was 2, I was always telling him, no, don't, like when I had knives around him, no, those are sharp and dangerous. Don't touch them. And I always said sharp and dangerous. And one day he was like making stuff up, I guess. And his babysitter came up to me. Max told me that I asked him what happened to his knee, and he said you cut him with a sharp and dangerous knife. And I was like, what? And then I burst out laughing because I realized he was just like making stuff up and using my words. Like, oh my gosh.
They will use your
my
words.
kids do that, but without, it's not sharp, it's not dangerous, it's just paint peeling. It's funny to hear 40-year-old woman say, what the actual fuck? And then have your 3-year-old say, Daddy, what the actual fuck? Can I have doll maker, please? Yes. What the actual fuck? I want your phone, Daddy. She's 5. She plays Roblox.
So, Morgan is going to bed. Trudy, thank you so much for sharing your very lovely story with us.
Oh my gosh, thank you guys so much. This was amazing.
And best of luck. I think it's glorious. Obviously, Patrick would like you to take the feedback he gave on page 1 and work it through the entire manuscript.
I can give more if you want. He said lovingly, if you're not traumatized by the fact that.
I mean, I have like 370 more pages, so no, just kidding.
I think I probably cut a few words that you're not going to be at 89,000.
Oh, ooh, he might get you down to that 84.5.
Oh, we can go 70s.
There we go.
Let me actually, we'll talk later about something.
He had his way, he'd probably get me down to 52 or something. No.
That's close to what I was thinking of measuring. I want to see how many fewer words it is now.
Oh my god.
All right, we got to go because Morgan has to go and not be with me. And Trudy,
So
I don't know what
thank
time it
you
is.
all, and thank everybody who came and watched and cheered us on, or anyone watching in the reruns. Hopefully you found something useful for you, and if not, we were at least moderately amusing, and or
To
you're
ourselves.
really upset that Trudy's book isn't out yet. So
Hopefully
catch you
that's
next time,
amazing.
and keep use your voice, use your votes, and if you have any available, use your money to support abortion and reproductive rights. Peace out, yo.
Abortion!